All right, Shalom Yashala, giving all glory and praise and honor that's due to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, that belongs to the apostles and elders of GMS, and peace, mercy, and grace to the household of faith. I want to hit you with another quick lesson, man. I was inspired to go into this as I was reading Exodus, the 12th chapter, dealing with the Passover lamb. And, the scriptures be multifold, and, there's different things that be revealed unto you the more you read them. And this was something that stood out to me that I just wanted to touch on. And this is Exodus, the 12th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, your lamb shall be without blemish. And the main thing I want to touch on is the commandment to have the lamb roasted with fire. But I'm going to start at verse 5 and end at verse 9. It says, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. All right, so a lamb without blemish. All right, in the spirit. Man, this is heavy. I'm going to keep reading, though. It says, you shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the month, or the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein thou shalt eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. So I'm going to get a precept. This is Sirach 39:1. Okay, because these, what came to mind as I'm reading this is, dealing with dark, subtle parables, dark sayings, dark parables. As it says, but he that is giveth to the mind, who giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in the prophecies. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. And where do you find subtle parables? You find them in the Holy Book. It says he will seek out the secrets of the grave sentences, and be conversant in dark parables. And I wanted to touch on this because this is pretty interesting here, because the scriptures refer to Yahushua as the Lamb, right? Revelation in 12:11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Revelation 7 and it's in various verses in the 7th chapter, Revelation the 6th chapter. Yahushua is pretty much referred to as the Lamb, right? So in Exodus 12, your lamb shall be without blemish. What is that going into in the spirit? Basically perfect. So blemish is thamayim, which is complete, whole, entire, sound. Yahushua was complete. He was perfect, right? He was whole. He was blameless, right? A male of the first year. So a male. All right, a male. So a male lamb that's whole, that's complete, of the first year. That reminds me of the firstborn. Yahushua being the only begotten Son of the Most High. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, right? He was sanctified from the rest of his nation, right? The sheep, the household of Israel. Okay, and you should keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And did not Israelites, were they not responsible for killing the lamb? Now we know he was betrayed and given up to the Romans, but it was his people. Now let me just do a quick search on this. When was Jesus killed? Day or night? I'm just curious. Okay, he was crucified during the day. According to the Gospels, he was nailed to the cross around the 3rd hour, which is 9 a.m., and died around the 9th hour, which is 3 p.m. Darkness covered the land from noon to 3 p.m., but he died in the afternoon, right? But he was betrayed in the night, which is the beginning of the day, which is the new day. So, Verse 7, yep, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door of the post wherein they shall eat it. So he was slain, right? The blood, which now it covers our houses, our hearts, our minds, our spirits. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire. So, the scriptures talk about affliction, the furnace of affliction. So this is why when he prayed to the Father to let the cup pass over him, he couldn't do it because he had to be the lamb. He had to basically be equivalent to the Passover lamb, which was to be roasted with fire. Oh, furnace of adversity. That's what I'm looking for. Excuse me. Ecclesiasticus 2:5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. And was not Yahushua an acceptable sacrifice? Was not he an acceptable man? And he was tried in the fire through the furnace of adversity. Right? Afflictions. I just wanted to do a word such on afflictions. But yeah, men of the Lord dealt with afflictions. Paul, talking about his afflictions. David says in Psalms 34:19, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of them all. It pleased him to bruise him. Let's get that, because that backs up what this was. It pleased him to bruise him. Isaiah 53:5, it says, but he was wounded. So that adversity, that roasted with fire, this was a part of what that was. Isaiah 53:5, but he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and his stripes we are healed. And with his stripes we are healed. Yeah, yep. Verse 10, yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Right? And offerings are to be accepted by the gods which you place your offer to. He shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. So you get it, it's not nothing heavy, but I just thought that was interesting because the commandment was, and they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. See, bitter herbs too. That's another thing. Eat not of it raw. Don't eat it raw. The meat, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs and with the purtenance thereof. So the whole lamb. Yep. So this is my blood. Eat. This is my body. Yahweh shall liken himself to the meal. Matthew 26:26. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. 27. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood for the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. Yeah, so because why? His blood ended up becoming shed after that. And ironically, this was the night of the Passover too, the Lord's Supper. I think that was the night of the Passover. When was the Lord's Supper? Was the Lord's Supper on the Passover? On the account you read. So Matthew, Mark, and Luke present the Last Supper as a Passover meal. In this view, Yahushua and his disciples ate the meal on the evening that began Passover, and he was crucified the next day. See? John indicates that Yahushua was crucified on the day of preparation for Passover. When the Passover lambs were being sacrificed, John 19:14, this suggests that the Last Supper happened the evening before, making it before Passover rather than the Passover meal itself. So whether it was the night of or the night before, day before, Yahushua died in the time of the Passover. What else? So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. Thought that was pretty dope. Let's keep reading Exodus 12:10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it with... Excuse me. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. Yep, because it was time to go. So, we accepted Yahushua, and we became hasty for salvation, because that was the night before salvation. That was the night before the Lord sent Yahushua to get us up out of there. He was the one that was sent in the cloud. That's 1 Corinthians 10. In 1, it says, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, the chariot, and all passed through the sea, and were baptized under Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and all did eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. Oh, spiritual meat, spiritual drink. We talking about lamb. We talking about the wine. It's all spiritual. For they drank of that spiritual capital R rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with many of them, God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Let's see what this cross reference to. Okay. What y'all got? Exodus 13. Yep, because Exodus 12 was the Passover. So Exodus 13. So that's the cloud. That's the account of the cloud. And then Exodus 14, and the angel of God. That was Yahushua, which went before the camp. Exodus 14, verse 19-20. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. 20, verse 20. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. All praise to Yahweh Shem. Shah prayer was an edifying lesson. I'm going to close there. On to the next one.